Hello, and welcome to Edgbaston Reservoir. It's the closest one to my house. I didn't have much time today, so we had to get it done really quickly. This is also the parkrun that Tolkien would do. These are the two Tolkien towers, said to be inspired of the Two Towers story that he wrote. I don't know anything else, but in the background here, you can just about see Edgbaston Reservoir Parkrun. It's 2 laps around the course. It's a beautiful day, possibly a little bit too hot to be wearing long sleeves, but I was anyway. And hopefully a good run a week after my 10k. Not sure. Let's see. And we're off. So I started a little bit further up the field today, trying to start with the other fast people. This is a busy parkrun. You see we got a decent amount of space as we come through the car park at the very start, but that's not going to last for very long. We're narrow once we get around the corner. I was trying to control my speed here to the right kind of pace. I think we just about got all right, but these people here with the purple tops, I think there's 3 or 4 girls with the purple tops. They were with us most of the way around the course. Just gets a little bit narrow here as we go through the first section here onto the main bit of the path. There was also a car parked around this corner that they'd warned us about that we were trying to avoid. But yeah, I don't think this slowed me down too much. I don't think I struggled too hard on these little bits. I was doing okay. Here's the car. Just a little bit slow there. And then we got up to speed through here. So yeah, I don't think I lost more than a couple of seconds from this. I can't believe how busy it was. These are people running 24, 25-minute park runs. And there are hundreds of us. And when we get to the finish line, you'll see that there's someone finishes once per second or something. Really, really lots. So although it is 2 laps of the course, keep the reservoir on the right hand side and you can't go wrong. It does go slightly up and down a bit, and this is the start of a small incline. It doesn't really hurt on the first lap. It does on the second lap. It is a course that you can kind of go all out all the way around, but you do pay for it on these little hills. I feel like this is one of the courses that I can go fast on, but I'm not sure. So yeah, we get to the top of this little hill here and we come around to the right and go flying down. It's okay. But you can still see there's just loads of people around. There was a small wind. It's behind us at the moment. When we come to the turn at the top here, it comes in front of us. I guess it didn't really get in my way. A lot of people at other parkruns are complaining it was a bit too hot for running on Saturday. I think the fact that we're in the shade most of the course here meant that that wasn't a big problem. I don't remember feeling too hot. I was, however, carrying quite a weight in my backpack. I do these as a live stream as well on Twitch. And in order to do that, I carry a encoder box, a modem, and a small battery on my back. I've been doing that for a couple of years now. But the live stream had kept dying the last few months, and I discovered that the reason was that the battery wasn't really coping well with the shaking. So I had to buy a new battery, but I ended up buying a slightly bigger one. So I'm carrying about 100 grams more than normal. I guess I'm carrying about 1 kilogram's worth of stuff on me. So that's my excuse for going a little bit slower, I think, possibly. But sadly, it means I didn't manage to actually start the recording. And I completely forgot about it till the end of the first lap. So you're watching what you would have seen on the stream with a couple of edits here. That's why I've got the black box in the right-hand corner and the map at the top right. But you can see on that, we're coming to the big turn here. And as we turn, this is then into the wind. It's also the bit of the course which I think has got the worst... Come on in. I think has got the worst reception. You see every so often these new signs that they've put in. Some of them are quite close to you as you run past them. I think we did okay, but just got to make sure you don't absent-mindedly run into something. So yeah, it's super busy down here. I did the 10k last week. I got 51 minutes and 34 seconds, which was dead on what I should have done according to my best 5k this year. So I'd done a kind of a week, and I'd done a couple of 10Ks and a couple of 5Ks in the week. I'd done a 10K the day before this run, so it was never going to be amazing, but I hadn't gone that fast on that. I guess it was still a bit in my legs. I don't know. What am I trying to say? I'm trying to say I was probably in close to my best form for this. I was just a bit tired. I've been trying to lose a little bit of weight as well that may or may not have helped me out. I felt hungry when I was running, and I was trying to squeeze this in because we were due to go to Weston-super-Mare with the kids on the train at 10:40, about an hour after we finish. So definitely a lot on my mind as we were running around this course. It is really pretty down here though. It looks so beautiful running through these trees and by the reservoir. The reservoir's for the canals, actually. It's not a drinking water reservoir. When we come round the next corner, I think it is, we get to see where the water comes in. And it's used to fill up the canals of Birmingham City Centre, which sit a bit higher than the canals nearby. So if you're ever on a boat in the city centre in the summer, this is why you're not scraping along the ground, because this canal is used to keep it full of water. It also happens to be the closest parkrun to my house, less than a mile away, so it means I can whiz up while the family's still in bed, have a quick run round, and then get home, and maybe they don't even notice I've gone. It's not super full at the moment. You can see these bits that look like a beach on the right-hand side. That's just because the reservoir's empty a bit. So my heart rate's already at 155. I thought I ran this lap slightly too fast. Not massively too fast. It just felt like it was a bit more than I wanted to be doing. It was very difficult to pace it. I'm not used to starting so fast with everyone. You can see a couple of people in purple up ahead of me on the right-hand side there. And once we come around this corner where you can see the water comes in underneath this little bridge. If you see it here, that's where the reservoir is filled from. Then this is a small amount of hill. That's definitely one of the signs where I might have hurt myself, I always thought. So yeah, we kind of grind up this hill now, and you get to see if you're going faster or slower than other people. I'm still kind of picking my way through the field here. It's not too bad. I tell you what, when I was running, I had no time to appreciate how nice this was through the trees. I think it looks really beautiful. Again, just trying to pick my way through the people. But yeah, I didn't like this hill. So this course is my PB since COVID, as it were. So my best 5k is 20 minutes and 10 seconds, but that's now 10 years ago, and it's when I was 9 years ago, and it's when I was a lot less heavy than I was, and I was doing a lot more training than I currently am. So ever since COVID, when I put on a lot of weight, I kind of reset the scales, and I did do a 22:48 here about 3 or 4 years ago, which was my best 5k by quite a long way, actually. I did some 24s last year, some 23s last year, 23:30, 23:40. But I am confident that I can get back down to that kind of level. There's definitely a 22.5 in me before I hit 50, I feel. So just run behind the boat club here. You can see a few boats waiting to go out and sail. There were some people rowing, actually. It was quite a nice day for that. This bit is another section that's reasonably narrow, and we're all puffing a bit as we head towards the top of the hill. So you might want to look at my heart rate, which is on the bottom left there above the kilometres sign. Basically at this point, 160 or 161 is my top of zone 4. According to all the heart rate theory, I should be able to keep up that top of zone 4 for quite a long time. But when I bash above 161, then it starts to be, I can only really do a kilometre more. And you can actually hear it in my puffing. If you listen to me at the moment, it sounds okay. On in. Tried to say hello to the people. And this is the barrage. This is the dam at the end of the reservoir. So as we come here, you can see down on the left-hand side, there are the canals and there's the sluices and the stop locks and whatever the other things are called, which are much lower. And the canal runs along here and into Birmingham city centre and all the way out the other side to places like Edgbaston and stuff. On the worst days, this can be quite exposed. I didn't think it was too bad, but I did notice after a couple of minutes that on the left-hand side, the stones are a bit less loose. So I went over to the left-hand side to stop it pushing me backwards. And you can see what a nice day this is as we run across here. I was actually very pleased with this. I was trying to balance it out nicely. Not go too fast, as he says, hitting the 161. This is the fastest I wanted to be going at this point. But this does feel like it goes on a long time as we run across the barrage. And then at the end here, we got the Sea Cadets, and then we run round to the right. And that takes us to the end of the first lap. It is about, I don't know if it's about 100 meters, maybe less, between the start line and the finish line. So it's really 2.01 laps or something like that. So just bear that in mind. The start isn't where the finish is. But it's one of the easiest courses in terms of just follow the person in front of you. Bit wiggly round here in front of the Sea Cadets. It's a big sharp right and then a sharp left. This used to be a dance hall that was somewhere here, but there's almost no remnants of it at all left now. And you would run underneath a building here. It was kind of out on stilts just here, but that's all gone, all completely disappeared. So this grinds again uphill. Again, it's just a little bit more than you want it to be. And you'll start hearing it in my voice in a second. Just got to be a little bit careful on these cones coming up as well. Just to go one side or the other of them and not trip yourself up. No one else seems to have too many problems, but I feel like I do. There we go. So one lap is coming up just here. I feel like that's going to be 12 minutes for the first lap. However, that's not quite where the start line is, where the finish line is. So it's kind of somewhere in between the two here is halfway. So I think it's like a 12:15 or something like that. At this point, I remember about the camera, and you could see me flick it on there. And then you can see that we're running around now in much better quality. So that was kind of your preview lap, where you got to see roughly what the course was like. And now you'll get to see what it's actually like. I can feel that we're a little bit tilted to the right here. The camera's supposed to correct for the horizon leveling or something. Just because it's on my head and my head's wobbling a lot, it doesn't always pick it up immediately, but it should fix as we run round. Some people go across the grass there. I feel like that's not what you're supposed to do. It's obviously not that much of a saving in time. Just sometimes have to watch out here for the people with the boats and stuff. The course has cleared a bit, but as you can see, there's still absolutely loads of us running around here. Theoretically, we're on course for a 24:30 then, based on the first lap, but I don't think that's what we're going to make. We'll see how it goes. So you can see me hit the 161 as we hit into this hill. Oh, it's gone to naught. When I lose reception or something, that's when it goes to naught. It'll come back in a sec. So yeah, you can see the guys in front just got a little bit further ahead there as we hit this hill. And I struggled up here. And you can hear me breathing and starting to struggle. I think someone from Twitch chat says something in my ear at this point. And so I reply. Maybe it's not here. Maybe it's just a little bit further round. So here, top of the hill again. And say, starting to struggle now. I'm just trying to measure it out. And this is the question of whether should I have gone a little bit slower earlier, or was this about the best I could do? I feel like this wasn't far off the best I could do on the day, in the time. I think the conditions were close to perfect.
We're going too fast, really.
There you go. We're going too fast. So I definitely was feeling it at that point. That's interesting. Just as the heart rate says, that's how I feel as well. So we do have plans this next week. Hopefully we'll do Perry Hall Parkrun next weekend and see how we get on. But on Sunday, I'm doing the 4 Farms 10K challenge or something in a place called Deddington that's just south of Banbury. As long as I've got the train. Hopefully you guys can come with me and see that one. I've done it the last couple of years. It's a 10K course over farms and trails and hills. An hour is a good time as far as I'm concerned, and that's what we'll be trying to make. So I'm not going to massively train for it, just do a little bit less running this week. But if you want to see a different type of course and a different bit of England, that's the plan for next week. I will carry all the equipment with me on my back, so I'll also go slowly for that reason.
On in.
Still manages to say hello. Another one, just remember to say thanks to all the volunteers who come past. They give up their time and they give up their run to cheer us all round, so it's really, really helpful, I think. I have done it a few times, and it is quite fun, different experience. It's just getting over yourself that you need to train every week, and you need to do your parkrun every week is really important. It's like, no, get over yourself. Just take a week off every so often and do the volunteering. It's good fun. So yeah, this is wind in front of me. I feel like I pushed slightly to try and catch up with this group in front. I'm not sure it was the most stunning idea in the world. I did have some internet connection, some GPS connection problems here as well. As you can see, the map goes a bit funny. That's because I'm holding it in my pocket, which is probably a little bit far from being able to see the sky. These random people just came past far too fast. I was like, okay, bye. I'm sticking with my purple shirted group, and we did okay. We did okay. Not too many people come past. You can always tell when you start to slow in these kind of races because the groups start to bash past you instead. Apparently we've done 3.5 kilometers. Again, the measurements aren't super accurate for this, but they're close enough, I think. And he overtakes the people with the purple t-shirts. Here we go. It must have been strong. I think those guys were running together. I stick with this guy instead. Amazing. But this is the thing. 3.6k to go. I'm already at heart rate at 163. I haven't really got enough to survive this. And I do slow down at some point. I looked at the map of how fast I went through, and there's a gradual slowing from the start to the end. But I think it's okay. As always, we're looking for sub 25 here. That's about my rate at the moment. I think we should make it, but maybe we'll be very close. After parkrun, people like to go for a tea and what have you. I think that path on the left there is where you go. It might be the next one here. There it is, just the path there. And there's a little volunteer place or something you can go and have a cup of tea. One day I'll be brave enough and sociable enough to go and have a cup of tea with them after parkrun. But it wasn't today. I had to rush home anyway. I was quite pleased I got the footage in. The Tolkien story is not super complicated. It's just that Tolkien was inspired by the 2 towers that you can see at Edgbaston, apparently. And there is some kind of Tolkien trail that you can do. Here we go. So one of them is a water tower, and it's still on the premises of, is it Severn Trent Water? And the other is a folly, randomly built by someone rich. And that's the one in the foreground of the shot that you might have seen. I'll try and fit in the fit check somewhere here. You can see I was wearing the fun sunflowers again. I think that's what kept me going. I didn't get too many comments on the close today. I think there was 1 or 2 as we came round. So here we go, 4 kilometers. Maybe it's just a little bit more than a kilometer from here. But surely we're going to make sub 25. The question is, when will we make Civ 24 again? And when we get into the 23s, is it possible? Like I say, gradually uphill from here. Let's work our way around. And we're finally catching up with some of the back markers still on the first lap. Finally also at a point where it's not too busy. Although based on the finishing stats, there was a line of people behind me. You never look behind, so you never really know. And yeah, this climb really hurts. The second time. I don't like it. The winner, just so you know, got a 17:21. And then there was a 17:30 and a 17:36 and a 17:43. So, you know, yeah. It's not a hard course. It's a fast course. We are back round by the boats again. Kind of let that guy get away. And this is it. These high heart rates I've been pulling. 168. And I was still doing really well with this. I don't know if it's only my watch tighter because the heart rates aren't accurate. I'm not sure. But part of me is pleased that I'm pulling a high heart rate on this. I feel like that's good. Don't know. I don't sound as tired as I felt. But I felt exhausted at this point. And I was desperately hoping I didn't get in the way of this person who was squeezing through this gate. We just about made it. There we go. Okay, guys, so we're back along the barrier here, along the dam. So it's kind of 4 minutes from these posts, I think, is my kind of measurement in my mind. Feels like it's about right. And 2.5 of these minutes are running across here. Just got to keep pushing at it. I was obviously bashing my microphone here as well. I think it's quite nice. Get a nice view of the city centre and a view of the reservoir. Yeah, 170 this far out, dearie me. And this is, you can see I was starting to slow. I don't think we've seen this purple shirt before. I think it's a different one. But she flies off. I was like, I'll just stay with her. I think that'll be fine. But no. I think she picks up 3 or 4 places here as well. So that's really well done. And I think there's another guy that comes past me. I just managed to just about stick with him till the end. And then there's a line of people behind us waiting to finish. There we go. There's this guy. Just about managed to stick with him, as I absolutely broken. Thank you very much for staying with me this week, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the park run. Next week, as I say, hopefully we're at Perry Hall for Fast One, and then an extra run on Sunday as we get into the summer. We'll be the fittest we've ever been. I'm going to try and keep up with my diet as well.
Yeah. 24:40.
There we go. You see, that's me calculating what I'll get. About a minute from here, 24:40. We'll see how we go. It looks like I'm struggling far less than I am. Let's get the finish done. Seems to be once I'm over 170, I can't stop shouting. To the end. Let's go. Just trying to work out which bit to wiggle through here. This is what we had. We did manage to get in a bit of a sprint finish. It wasn't massive. Well, I thought that was an excellent run. We didn't quite make 24:30. But as we come around this corner here, I think we put in a really good showing for ourselves early on a Saturday morning. Congratulations, Rad. And I think we scored 24:46 on the time. Thank you very much for joining, everybody. See you next week.